Hello everyone, welcome to this my channel Accounting Samjho by Shruti. So if you are opting account stream in 11th standard or you want to learn accounting and bookkeeping, तो ये वीडियो आपके लिए है. तो let us start accounting and bookkeeping. Now what is bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is अपने जो डे टू डे ट्रांजैक्शंस रहते हैं they are recorded in the accounting software. Now they are like Tally Prime है या QuickBooks है. These are the softwares used to record the day-to-day transactions. Usually it is done by the bookkeepers, and the basic accounting knowledge is required for recording all these transactions. This is mainly done to record and understand the financial transactions. Next is the accounting. Accounting is what? It is for your tax filing, preparing financial statements and decision making. It is done to analyze and elaborate the financial data. It is done by the certified public accountants. The skills required for this are the professional accounting knowledge such as GAAP, जो generally accepted accounting principles है, and IFRS, that is International Financial Reporting Standards. Full accounting and bookkeeping works on the 3 golden rules which you always have to remember. The first is debit the receiver and credit the giver. The second is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. And the last but not the least is debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. Now this recording of accounting transactions, there are two systems. One is the single entry system and the other is the double entry system. Now सिंगल एंट्री सिस्टम कहाँ यूज़ होता है? तो इफ़ यू हैव गॉट अ स्मॉल, आपका अगर छोटा बिजनेस है तो यू कैन ऑप्ट फॉर दिस सिंगल एंट्री सिस्टम, बट द लिमिटेशंस आर लाइक एक्यूरेसी फॉर दिस इज़ ऑलवेज देयर. In double entry system, every debit has corresponding credit with exactly the same amount. Now we'll learn the different terminologies used in accounting. Now business या entity जिसको बोलते हैं, तो it should define what type of business you have. So it's the description of your type of the business. Now if अगर single owner of the business है तो उसको proprietorship firm बोलते हैं. If you are partners in the same, then it is called a partnership firm. If the liability of the firm is already defined, then it is called the limited liability partnership firm, that is LLP. Then आएगा like आपका private limited company, and then limited companies, then society account, and non-profit organization, that is a NGO. So these are the different entities of your, that is the type of your business. Now we have learned the type of the business. The next what comes, that is the capital. Capital is the amount either which in the form of cash or assets brought in by the business owner. So the owner, if he gets some assets or cash, so that will be called as the capital of the business. Now stocks are the goods which are lying unsold in your godown. So stock is like opening stock आपका starting of the year में रहेगा. You will add the purchases into that. You will sell also from the same, and at the end of the year you get the closing stock. So that is called inventory also. Next is the accounting period. accounting period is for which the balance sheet is prepared. Now it is usually from the 1st April till the next of the 31st March. It is also called a fiscal year. Balance sheet is what it is, the report that consists of assets, liabilities and equity. Now we'll see assets. Now assets are the resources owned by the business. For example, plant and machinery, land and building, then your inventory, furniture and fixtures. These are all the assets. Now assets are again classified into two types. That is, first is the fixed assets and the other is the current assets. We see first the fixed assets. The fixed assets are those which are long tangible assets that a company uses to generate income and do not intend to sell. Now land and building है, plant and machinery. If it's a supply chain business, then these vehicles, then furniture and fixture, then laptops and servers, and then leasehold premises. All these will be considered as fixed assets. Current assets are the short-term assets that a company expects to convert into cash, sell or consume within 1 year. Now in every business आपको liquidity of the cash तो लगता ही है. So this cash and bank account, that will be considered as current assets. Accounts receivable है, आपने सेल कर दिया है, then obviously the amount is due from your debtors, so that will be considered as current assets. Inventory या closing stock या stock बोलते हैं, then prepaid expenses like rent, so that will be also considered as current assets. Marketable securities like bonds, that will be also considered as current assets. अगर आपने इनकम टैक्स फाइल रिटर्न किया है and if you are liable to get refund from the government, that will be considered as your current asset. Coming to the liabilities. Now liabilities are the debts payable by the business. For example, loans. Then these liabilities are also classified into current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Now current liabilities are the short-term liabilities which must be settled within 1 year or one operating cycle, whichever is longer. यहाँ लाइक पेमेंट टू योर सप्लायर्स फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. अगर आपने गुड्स परचेज किए हैं या आपने सर्विसेज ली है, सो दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज he will be your supplier or your sundry creditors, and that will be your current liability. Now accrued expenses like salaries, electricity bills, they have to be paid on the stipulated time, so that is your current liability. Now if you want to expand your business, आपको business बढ़ाना है, तो you get some short term loan from the banks which are to be paid within 6 months, for example. So that will be considered as current liability. Now taxes owed to government like income tax है, GST है, they are to be paid on the due dates. So that will be your current liability. Advance payment received against the goods. Now if you have made some sale to your customer and he has paid some advance amount, definitely he will adjust in your final bill, but that advance received from your debtor will be considered as your current liability. Now non-current liabilities are the obligations that are due beyond 1 year or one operating cycle. जैसे लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स है, बॉन्ड्स पेएबल है, देन लॉन्ग टर्म लीजिंग अरेंजमेंट्स है या डिफर्ड टैक्स लाइबिलिटीज़ है, दे आर to be paid but not immediately but after some long time, so that is also your non-current liabilities. Now pension of the employees, now this is also not immediately to be paid but that is you are liable to pay in long run, so that will be considered as non-current liability. The next is the equity. Now when we say अरे कंपनी का नेटवर्थ क्या है, so net worth is the equity, that is assets minus liabilities, which is owner's share in the business. The next is the depreciation. Depreciation in simple words is wear and tear. It's a reduction of the value of an asset over a period of time. Suppose आज के तारीख में आपने कुछ कार खरीदी किया, you get the tax invoice of the car. Probably you get the insurance free for 1 year, first year from the company. So when next year you go to renew your car insurance, you will always find that the net value of the car is reduced. ऐसे कैसे हो गया? So it is 1 year आपने कार चलाया, so it is the value after deducting the depreciation, you get the net value. Of course, as you use the car over a period, your net value of the car gets reduced and insurance premium amount gets increased day in the every year. Profit and loss account is the statement where income and expenses are recorded to get either profit. अगर आपका income आपके एक्सपेंसेस से ज़्यादा है, यू आर बाउंड टू गेट द प्रॉफिट. अगर आपके एक्सपेंसेस आपसे इनकम से ज़्यादा है तो यू आर बाउंड टू गेट लॉस. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज़ रेवेन्यू. रेवेन्यू इज़ द इनकम अर्न फ्रॉम अ बिजनेस, दैट इज़ द इंटरेस्ट रिसीव्ड. वॉट एवर प्रॉफिट है, अगर आपका बिजनेस अच्छा चल रहा है, यू गॉट प्रॉफिट एंड इफ़ यू आर इन्वेस्टेड दैट प्रॉफिट अमाउंट इन द सम fixed deposit receipts, you are bound to get the interest on the same. So that interest after deducting the TDS, that will be considered as the revenue. Next is the gain. Gain is usually the capital gain and that is the revenue earned on the sale of the and fixed assets. After always reduction of the depreciation and arriving at a net value. Suppose your value of your asset is net value after deduction of the depreciation is X, and if you sell that net your asset for X plus 1 value, then that 1 will be considered as your capital gain. Now dividend is the reward that a company gives to its shareholders. हम लोग हमेशा क्वार्टरली रिजल्ट्स के लिए वेट करते हैं. वाई? बिकॉज वी आर द शेयर होल्डर्स ऑफ सम कंपनीज एंड इफ द कंपनी इज गेटिंग गुड प्रॉफिट, it gives the dividend to its shareholders. So that is the reward. Next is expenses. Expenses are cost incurred to generate income. Now for example, अगर आपका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी है तो wages paid to the workers for the production of goods in the factory will be considered as expenses. Purchases. Now purchases are the goods procured for the purpose of sale. In case of manufacturing entity, it is the raw material purchased on cash or credit basis. If you are paid cash to purchase the raw material, you get the cash memo. If you have purchased the raw material on the credit basis, you get the tax invoice. Your purchase payment terms are always mentioned in your purchase order. Next is the sales. Sales are the revenue collected from goods or services sold to customers on cash or credit basis. It is exactly opposite of the purchase. If you are selling your goods on credit, then you issue always a tax invoice mentioning payment terms as to when the party has to pay the amount. Now drawings. Drawings are the personal withdrawals of the owner which reduces his capital. अगर आज के तारीख में आई एम रनिंग माई ओन बिजनेस, आई हैव गॉट माई कैपिटल अकाउंट एंड इफ़ आई पे माई सन्स स्कूल फीस फ्रॉम द सेम अकाउंट, तो क्या हो जाएगा, मेरा ड्राइंग्स विल गेट रिड्यूस, माई कैपिटल अकाउंट विल गेट रिड्यूस. So that is called the drawings. Now the next is the voucher entry. Now voucher entry is the proof that the transaction is completed. We get the cash memo for the purchase of goods on cash basis, and we get the invoice if the goods are purchased on the credit basis. Now narration. When we say narration, what it is, ये जो it gives you a detailed description of the transaction. इसका पूरा डिटेल आपको मिलेगा इस नरेशन ने कि क्या एग्जैक्टली ये ट्रांजैक्शन, ये रिकॉर्ड क्यों किया है. ना अभी तो सब ऑनलाइन पेमेंट्स हो रहे हैं, लाइक ऑन NEFTs एंड RTGS, लेकिन हम लोग तो चेक इशू करते थे पहले. तो व्हेन यू राइट दिस नरेशन, इट शुड बी सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी. लाइक इसमें पूरा हम लोग लिखते थे, दिस चेक नंबर सो एंड सो, डेटेड सो एंड सो, अगेन इनवॉइस नंबर सो एंड सो. अगर पार्टी ने आपको डिस्काउंट दिया है तो अगेंस्ट दिस डिस्काउंट वैल्यू इज सो एंड सो, ये सब हम लोग मेंशन करते थे. सो व्हेन यू रीड द नरेशन, यू गेट अ क्लियर आइडिया कि क्या ये रिकॉर्ड कहता है. तो नेक्स्ट इज द जनरल वाउचर. General voucher is used to record a non-recurring and infrequent transaction. For example, if a fixed asset is brought, the payment voucher is made for this fixed assets. Now, if it is sold, then it is booked through the general voucher indicating the gain or loss on sale of an asset. जैसे पहले बताया, इफ़ यू आर सेलिंग द फिक्स्ड असेट x plus 1, then that 1 will be your capital gain which will be booked through the general voucher. And please do remember here one entry, this is the adjustment entry, and no cash or bank account is affected. This is very important, you always remember. Next is bad debts. Bad debts are uncollectible accounts expenses. They are usually written off. So when you suppose make the sale, हमने सेल कर दिया, पार्टी को टैक्स इनवॉइस में मेंशन कर दिया दैट यू हैव टू मेक द पेमेंट विद इन 15 days. देन वी डोंट गेट पेमेंट. इफ़ यू डोंट गेट पेमेंट फ्रॉम द पार्टी, हम लोग रिमाइंड करते हैं पार्टी को, बोलते थे लाइक प्लीज़ पे योर बिल, इट्स ड्यू, बट यू डोंट गेट द पेमेंट. देन 6 months हो जाता है, फिर भी नहीं पेमेंट आता है. सो एट द एंड ऑफ द ईयर, सपोज आपको समझ में आता है कि दिस पार्टी इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू पे यू एनी टाइम. सो दीज आर द रिटर्न ऑफ अमाउंट्स. सो उसको हम लोग बैड डेट्स बोलते हैं कि ये पैसा आने वाला नहीं है. द नेक्स्ट इज़ ट्रायल बैलेंस. ट्रायल बैलेंस इज़ द समरी ऑफ ऑल द अकाउंट्स टू चेक डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट. डेबिट जितना है उतना ही क्रेडिट आना है. इट हैज़ टू ऑलवेज मैच. सो दीज वॉज द डिफरेंट टर्मिनोलॉजीज़. तो आज के वीडियो में हमने देखा कि अकाउंटिंग क्या है, बुक कीपिंग क्या है, देन 3 golden रूल्स क्या है, एंड द डिफरेंट टर्मिनोलॉजीज़ यूज्ड इन accounting. I hope you liked my video. Please like, share and subscribe to my this channel Accounting समझो बाय श्रुति। अगर आपको लगता है इसमें कुछ मॉडिफिकेशंस चाहिए या कुछ कंसेप्ट आपको समझ में नहीं आए, then you please write in the comment box and will definitely resolve all your queries. Thanks for watching this.